I have another stupid video for you today. Today I'm answering your questions about style. I went on my Instagram the other day, asked my followers if they had any questions about style that I could talk about today. I have a lot of good questions here and I'm gonna jump into them right now. First question up, let's start with the basics. What is good style? I personally think style is subjective, but I feel like there's a lot of things that contribute to good style that most people can agree on. If I were to define skating style, I would probably define it as someone's natural movements while skating and doing a trick properly. Whenever I think about good style, I always think about if you do a trick and you take a photo of it or a freeze frame and you look at how someone's positioned in that one frame, you could tell somebody's style from that. It's kind of like the Nike Air Jordan logo. You know that man dunked with style. It's like if somebody took this still frame of me from a few weeks ago doing a backside on this rail and then compared it to one of Josh Petty doing this ridiculously good looking backside UFO. Same trick, but they look completely different. And in this case, Josh has way better style than me, hands down. How important is arm position to you when it comes to style? I don't think arm placement is that big of a deal when it comes to most skating tricks or style. But I do think it affects it when your arms are flailing around in the air, like the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men. When your arms are solid and steady, it shows you have control in your skating. In Soyshiro's Butter TV edit a few years back, he spoke about how the Japanese skaters learn from someone like Chiaki Ito.
っていうその何か技が例えばこうできたとしても、その技の形がすごく手がこうバタバタしてたり、こうかっこよくなかったりすると、もう一回やった方がいいんじゃないとか、もっとよくできるよとかっていう風になんか昔からそういう風になってった気がしてて。
Slow and smooth or fast and anything goes? Which is better? Fast and smooth. No, but I don't think speed affects someone's style in any way. I think you could go fast or slow on a trick and it'll both look the same. The only thing I can think about is that the amount of speed you have on a trick may depict how much control you have while doing it. Sometimes if you go too fast, you're focused on the speed, not how the trick looks. And sometimes if you go too slow, you won't have the momentum to really maybe balance the trick or jump on it correctly. So it'll look a little weird. Before we move on anymore, I have a new shirt on right here. Check it out. I have the Gone Skating Pizza shirt. Check out the back. It has the Gone Skating logo, but it's a pizza guy instead. But anybody who knows me knows I love pizza. I'm from New York. It's a slightly oversized shirt, perfect for skating, a little bit of a more loose fit. If you're interested, I'll have a link below to the online store where you can purchase one or one of my other shirts. I ship them worldwide, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world, I'll get it to you no matter what. Who has your favorite style? Name it. LOL. This is a tough question because I don't have like one particular person, I guess. I'll name a few and I guess I'll explain briefly why I chose these people. First on my list is Louis Zamora. He is probably the first person I ever recognized with really good style. To me, all his tricks look so clean, smooth, effortless, and I always looked up to that, especially with his royales. Next up, I'm gonna say Dominic Sagona. His style always stood out to me. It's kind of like a hybrid mix of ninja and like that fast jazz kind of style that like Dominic Bruce has nowadays. His style is still completely unmatched to this day. And lastly, I'm gonna say Yuto Goto. Also has that ninja style, but I think he's probably, in my opinion, the most stylish skater out nowadays. He's the type of person where I could watch like a simple Mizu and just be like, do you prefer baggy or skinny pants? I always preferred baggier pants, but I don't think that affects someone's skating style at all in any way. Chris Farmer is a perfect example of this. We saw him go from super baggy sweatpants to tight skinny jeans, and his style was always rock solid. If you take a clip of Chris Farmer doing like a true Mizu or a kind grind from the baggy pants era and compare it to him doing a true Mizu with skinny pants, they look identical. Just the clothing change, which is not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about just someone's skate style. So I don't think changing your clothes affects how you do a trick or how your trick looks in any way. I'm not a fashionista or anything, so I have no right to judge people on their clothing. How are you able to do those low topside tricks? How did you train them? I don't think I ever really trained any of my tricks. I think this just goes back to how I was talking about with natural movements. I get low on certain tricks like topsides because it's just easier for me to do them that way. Same thing with like a regular soul grind on a rail. Usually if I soul a rail or even like a long rail, like a kink rail or a handicap, I'm always low on it. And some people comment to me saying, how do you do them so low? I can never do that. I have to be standing up on it for me to finish the rail or whatever. And that's how they do it, and that's just how I do it. For me personally, it's way easier to sit down on a soul grind on a rail. It's easier to hold my balance. I could get on the rail better. I lock it easier. It's just the way I do it and what comes natural to me. Maybe it comes from when I started skating. I was 8 years old. I was a little guy, I was super tiny. So the only way for me to get on rails or ledges or whatever, I had to really throw myself at him, and I was always super low on it because the rails were up to like my ribs. I think that maybe continued as I grew up, and that's just the way I still do my tricks to this day. Unfortunately, I never got much taller though. I stopped growing at like 13 or something. Why is style the most important thing in blading? Damn, another good question. That's a hot take right there. I don't know if I 100% agree with that actually. It's a very important thing, and it's something that keeps me coming back to wanting to see somebody skating more than the difficulty of a trick. But that's just personal preference at that point. Statistically, I'm 86% less likely to swipe away from your reel on Instagram if you have good style. All right, I'm not doing that for this video, but I just think whatever you do, just try to make it look as good as you possibly can. Which leads perfectly onto this question: is style more important than the trick itself? This is such a good question and might be controversial. Everybody's answer will be different to this one. I think you do need a healthy balance of the two, but in my personal opinion, I much rather see style than someone doing a crazy trick. I'd rather watch a section of somebody doing super stylish royales and top souls on ledges than see a section of somebody throwing themselves off roofs or 1260 this over there or whatever it is. That's a good question though. Let me know in the comments below what you think is more important. Is there even 10 people who have it at the moment? Damn, burn. There's definitely 10 or more people that have it at the moment. Off the bat, I'll say Colin Kelso, Sean Kelso, Ryan Parker, Michael Vitzman, Julian Ba, Thais Colares, Yuto Goto, and pretty much everybody in Japan and Korea at the moment. Misfit or soyale? Feet touching or just torqued? This is a simple question. There's only one answer to this. They always have to be touching, and you have to be boot down every single time. It's just that simple. What style was hated back then and loved now? I can't necessarily think of someone's personal style who people hated back then, but it does make me think of wearing pads. Now I know this is more of like a fashion style more than a skate style, but it has to do with skating, so I'm gonna talk about it real quick. Back in the day, a lot of people wore pads. I think not just because they were functional, but because they were stylish and looked good. There were trends at the time. For example, pawn wrist gloves. It was a way to protect your wrist. It wasn't as effective as an actual traditional wrist guard, but they made it look good. It was stylish. It came in different colors. People had signature ones, so it was pretty cool. Everyone had a pawn wrist guard at that time. Also, I can remember boneless knee pads, which were like the big, bulky, hard knee pads that people wore. I think that was like a cool, stylish thing at the time. I remember when I was younger, I always wanted them, even though it's mostly a park thing and I didn't really skate park, but I still wanted it because I thought it looked cool. And nobody gave you shit back then for wearing them. Now, on the other hand, I hear a lot of people talking shit about somebody who's all fully padded up skating around. I'm not just talking about shin guards under your pants, but I'm talking about like full knee pad, shin guard, elbow, wrist guards, helmet, everything. And I think it's mostly just because of the look. It's most people's preference that doesn't look good. They say looks like you're wearing armor or you look like a knight. And that's the only thing I could think about that people did back in the day that wasn't hated on, but is hated on now. And me personally, I will never hate on anybody for wearing pads. It's definitely a smart thing to do, especially if you wear a helmet. I'll never hate on anybody for wearing a helmet ever. Can style be improved? I think style can be improved, but only minimally up to a certain point. I still think that 90% of style is just natural, the way that you skate. Certain things can affect it, I guess, by how good you could skate. Obviously, if you're more comfortable in your skates, it's gonna look more natural and more fluid than somebody who just started out. So style does develop and grow over time. Less arm flailing, more solid landings, stuff like that will help improve your style a bit. But personally, I don't think it could go much further than that. If someone is forcing their style a certain way, you could definitely tell it doesn't look natural, it looks fake, it looks forced, it's not a good look. No matter how hard I try, I will never make my skating look like John Julio or Bobby Spazzoff or Levi Van Ryn. It'll never happen. Does that make sense? I don't know. Why is style lost after spinning more than a Why is style lost after spinning more than a 540? I never heard about this, and I don't necessarily agree with it. Have you ever seen Ryan Arnold's fakie 720 in Vine Street in the beginning of his section? That was one of the most stylish 720s ever. I think this may be a thing now, maybe because there are a lot of people who skate bigger events and ramps like Feast and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of people doing their tricks like gymnasts more than like skaters. So maybe that is what this person is talking about. I see a lot of people doing like 1260s, 1080s, all these crazy things, double backflips or whatever they're doing. I don't even know the names of them anymore. They're doing incredible things on skates, but they do it like a gymnast. I don't know if they're trained that way or what, but they're not grabbing their spins or their flips, or they'll do like a backflip and they grab their knees instead of like their skates, which in skating, that doesn't necessarily look good. That example that I mentioned before, the Ryan Arnold fakie 720, he did grab it, and that's kind of what made it look so good. So I feel like all these kids skating nowadays that are doing all these huge stunts on ramps, as their skating develops, maybe or hopefully they'll start grabbing them and making them look a bit more stylish. All right, that's gonna do it for this one. Let me know in the comments below what you think I should do an AMA on next time. I actually was gonna do a separate AMA and I completely scrapped it after like 15 minutes and was like, no, let's do style, because so many people ask or comment to me about style. So I figured this was a good topic. But let me know what else you think I should do these on. Be sure to give me a follow on Instagram so that you could ask me a question next time I have one of these. And if you want to see more stupid videos, be sure to subscribe for more. Peace.